Every single fight, no matter how big or small, has a story behind it. That's why when it comes to Tekken and the King of Iron Fist tournament, there's one hell of a story to tell.
Alright, let's go to the chase and talk about Street Fighter first because I do need to follow through on what I teased in my short. Also, I apologize for any of the names that I butcher, but overall, I think Street Fighter looks pretty cheesy, but in a good way, and I'm getting even more excited with each new trailer that comes out. I like what I see. My only concern was Noah Centineo as Ken. I'm simply not a fan of his. He's kind of like Mark Ruffalo for me, and I'm sure that he's got talent, but the stuff I've seen him in hasn't been that great, and it looks like he's just slumming through his performances. Now, to his credit, he's got the physicality down. I saw that in The Recruit and even in this recent trailer. So I do hope I'm wrong and that his portrayal of Ken rocks. But now let's move on to the main part of this video, and for those who don't know, Tekken is a franchise I hold near and dear to my heart. It was one of the few, if not the only fighting games I was able to play. My bowling alley was the only arcade at my disposal, but honestly, it was like the greatest thing ever. It introduced me to a lot of awesome games, and Tekken was no exception. I got obsessed as a kid, and I was digging into lore videos, and it even inspired me to create my own fighting game. As of late, we've seen other fighting franchises get the big screen treatment. I mean, we've got Street Fighter on the way, and we already had 2 recent Mortal Kombat movies, so I'm kind of getting desperate for a live action Tekken film, and I think there are obviously things to be wary of, like how faithful are they going to be, or are we just going to get more slop? However, I would love to see a reboot and improvements on what we saw back in 2009, and if we did get an announcement of a new Tekken film, here would be my pitch for what the first movie would focus on, and my dream cast for the project. From the get-go, my main plan was to make a faithful adaptation, something grounded while not shying away from the supernatural, but at its heart, it should be a great standalone flick. I've noticed that one of the major problems with films trying to become trilogies or looking to springboard into huge franchises is that they are always thinking about setting up stuff rather than delivering on a good solo film that has characters I'm excited to see in the future, which is why the plot for the first Tekken movie should focus on Kazuya as the main lead. When crafting the idea, I was heavily inspired by the first 2 games, and I thought by going with this direction, it would help build a proper foundation for the world and these characters. In the first game, it's about Kazuya entering the King of Iron Fist tournament in order to enact revenge on his father, Heihachi, who threw him off a cliff at the age of 5. The second game focused on Kazuya becoming more villainous, getting the love of his life, Jun, pregnant, and Heihachi coming back in order to yeet his son into a volcano. So after thinking about it, I decided it would be best to start off with Kazuya and Jun's relationship at the forefront, properly building that up, while also understanding the complex relationship that Heihachi has with his son.
Can't do this to me!
If you're truly my son, then you'll be able to climb back up.
And getting the audience invested in the younger fighters we introduce. And once we get to the end, we see Kazuya throw his dad off the cliff, but yet this isn't a happy ending. This isn't even a traditional hero movie, rather it acts more as a villain origin story. Kazuya embracing his identity and taking control of the Mishima Sabatsu and becoming the tyrant we know from the games. In the sequel, it would then shift focus to Jin as the main lead, and that movie would be an adaptation of the third game, except Kazuya would be the main villain. At least that's what I wanted to see, especially with this cast. You have Ken Watanabe as Heihachi Mishima. A close second was Shun Sagata, yet I thought Watanabe made more sense, and I think he's such a great performer. He's got the voice and the presence to pull off Mishima. And Sho Kazumatsu as Kazuya Mishima. This was a bit tough because I came up with the casting for older Kazuya first, so trying to find a great lead actor and lookalike was a challenge, but after a certain point, I gave up on that and picked Sho. I thought he was a bright spot in The Narrow Road to the Deep North, and so far I'm really enjoying his performance in Tokyo Vice. He does such a great job at playing conflicted characters, and I think he could pull off Kazuya. However, though I think these are great picks, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on who you would cast for Kazuya as well as Heihachi. Now it's rapid fire time, and I'm just going to run through the rest of the cast. I mainly picked actors who had martial arts experience, fit the personality of the characters, or had the look as well as the acting ability to pull it off. So without further ado, Taylor John Smith as Paul Phoenix, Raina Hardesty as Jun, Jackie Chan as Wang Jinrei, Amber Midthunder as Michelle Chang, Ryan Guzman as the King, or have real-life boxers play this role like Rafael Espozonza, Winston Duke as Armored King, Brandon Suhu as Martial Law, Florian Montiano as Jack, Junichi Okada as Yoshimitsu, Hiroki Sumi as Ganryu, Saoirse Ronan as Nina Williams, Neve McCormick as Anna Williams, Dallas Leo as Lee Chalong, and last but not least, Moka Hoshi as Kazumi Mishima. Obviously, this isn't perfect casting, but after working on this, all I can say is I want to see more done with this IP. I appreciate the dude in the comments who recommended me Bloodlines, and I'll give my full thoughts on the anime in a different video, as well as my thoughts on previous Tekken movies. But before I go, I wanted to tease the fan cast for the sequel. In the next film, Gordon Maeda would be playing Jin. I think that's pretty decent casting. And Brian T would be playing an older version of Kazuya Mishima. I think he's got the look as well as the acting prowess to pull it off. We flip the perspective and get to see Jin take on his dad in the Tekken sequel. So be on the lookout for that. Like and subscribe. But as always, watch, connect, and grow.
And throwing the body into a volcano like only a Mishima can.